We met at a Christmas party at one of my friend's houses, and she was a girl I met because we were in the same homeroom in high school, and I was a freshman in high school.
Can you tell me about the party? Can you tell me anything?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
All I remember is at a Christmas party, and really, I didn't have a date with him until April. So he must have thought about it for a while. From December to the end of April, right?
What was your first date?
We went to the community theater in North Attleboro, and we saw Knock on Any Door with Humphrey Bogart and John Derek. And one of his friends gave us a ride to North Attleboro. And coming home, we took the bus from North Attleboro to the center of Attleboro, and then he walked me home to where I lived, which was a mile from the center. And then from there, he walked probably a good 2 miles home because he did not have a car. And I can tell you what my family's views were of him. It was like he came from another continent. And he came from the wrong side of town, but I didn't pay any attention to anybody. We got married at St. John the Evangelist Church, April 14th, 1952, and we had a little reception at my mother's house on Davis Avenue. And my aunt's sister made our wedding cake, and it was just a very small, very few people, close family, and close friends. And we spent our honeymoon in Clinton, Connecticut, because it was as far as we could get on the money we had. And we stayed a few days, and then we came back home, and then we stayed at Grandma's house until Grandpa had to go back in the Army. He had to go back to Korea. It was very hard for him both ways. He didn't want to leave me, and he was supporting his mother. So he felt very badly that he wouldn't be here. And he was in the service until March of 1950, trying to think now, 53. He couldn't wait to get out of the Army. It was not his favorite thing. And the day he came home, my dad, your great-grandfather, and Grandpa's mother, and Tommy and I went to pick him up at Fort Devens. And I remember handing Tommy to my father and running over to Grandpa, and there was some guy there, and he says, "It's been a long time, hasn't it?" It was cute. That was a nice day. He was a super father, but he was kind of strict. And the kids knew just by looking at his face that they were in trouble. But he was a good dad. He coached Little League Baseball for I don't know how many years, besides working like at least 2 jobs and playing in a band to make ends meet. We bought this house, the house we're in now, in January 17th, 1963. So I have been here now 55 years in this house. The first day we got into this house, the 6 kids went up one set of stairs, through the second floor, down the other set of stairs. They thought they were living in a castle because it was so large from what they were, used to. I remember one really funny story, and it involves your dad. We had been at my mother and father's to visit. I don't even remember what we were there for. But at that time we had 7 kids. And we got halfway home and realized we had left your dad at my mother's. we had to go back and pick him up. And that's the funny part of it, because he was the noisiest one of them all. How we ever managed to leave him, I don't know, but that's one funny story. We took a lot of car trips, Sunday drives in the car. We went to New York City. We drove through the center of New York City, and the kids got to see the Empire State Building from the car, though. Nobody got out of the car. We went up along the Hudson River by West Point. We went to, I remember the day we went out, the night we went out to find a drive-in movie, and we ended up in Old Orchard Beach, Maine. And that was all on Route 1. There was no 95 then. And came home the same night because we didn't have any money to stay anyplace. All of these were Sunday drives only. We never stayed. I think we stayed once in Lake George. We stayed one night, and we stopped in a gift shop, and we let all the kids buy themselves a hat. And everybody bought like a cowboy hat or something normal, except for your dad, who bought an Indian headdress, which I still have hanging in the cellar. What else?
What did you love about him?
Oh, everything. And I miss him, something awful. And we ended up with 12 grandsons. You, our only granddaughter. And now we have 8 great-grandchildren, which your grandpa never saw. So, busy life. We had a busy life. A good life. We really did. I got no complaints. No, it was a good life. And it's funny because when Grandpa and I were going out, he had a bike for a while, but he never had a car until I think he was 19 maybe when he got a car. So we used to come and pick me up at Davis Avenue, and we would walk. We used to walk by this house a lot because I lived right over there. And more than once we said, wouldn't it be nice if we lived there someday? Never knowing that that's where we would end up. It's funny. Now, what is this for, Rachel?